Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Monique Armbruster, Director of Alumni Relations at Barry, and I'm so glad that you joined us this Saturday afternoon to spend some time with us. We're excited to have you. This is an exciting segment for us today. During homecoming weekend, we're going to be making sweet treats at home, and I'm excited to be joined by Chef Hedy Goldsmith, who is not only an acclaimed pastry chef and cookbook author, but she's a James Beard Award finalist. And if you guys are foodies, you know that's a big deal. So she's been very generous to invite us into the kitchen that she shares here at the SWGS location in Wynwood. And she's going to show us just how easy it is to make some great apple pie and some other savory options that we can share with our family and friends throughout the holiday season. So before we start, I do want to make you guys aware that our segment today is sponsored by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. So for all the ingredients that we're going to be using today, you can swing by your nearest Publix and pick them up. And just to address the obvious that we are in a COVID age, so we right now have our masks on, but we've agreed that we're both comfortable. We've both been tested and we're negative for COVID, and we're going to be socially distant. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and take off our masks because it just works better like that when you're cooking.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So we're ready to get started, Chef?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Here we go.
All right.
All right, there you go.
Phew.
So before we start, Chef Hedy, I'm really excited to be here with you today because in my spare time, I pretend that I'm a chef and my goal is to get on the Food Network. So I think this is as close as I'm going to get. But talk to us a little bit about how you started your career and,
Yeah, absolutely. I love baking, and using my Easy Bake Oven as a kid was really very exciting. I could make brownies in 5 minutes with a light bulb. So that's always been my spirit, that I've always loved to work with my hands. And it drove me to upstate New York to CIA. And currently, I'm working my savory side of things. I'm working at the Perez Art Museum, Miami, at Verde Restaurant. I work with the Constellation Culinary Group, and I'm very excited to be here at SGWS Wynwood.
And this is a great facility. I mean, I have I won't say the word, but big envy, like kitchen envy. This is an awesome facility. So we appreciate the folks at SGWS here in Wynwood allowing us to come in.
It really is a beautiful facility, and makes my baked goods even better.
Good. Well, I'm excited to start. And for those at home, I know some folks have already downloaded the list of ingredients. So you guys have all your stuff ready, and hope you have your ingredients set. So we can go ahead and start.
Terrific.
Okay.
Today we're going to be making an apple Cristada, but it can be a pear Cristada. It could be any type of fruit you'd like. I just chose apples because I love Granny Smith apples.
And for those of us, what's a Cristada?
Cristada is an Italian word for open-faced tart. It's like a galette, which would be the French version. It would be just any type of pastry that is enrobed. The fruit is like hidden inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds good.
Yeah, so, it's delicious.
I don't care what it's called. I'm sure it's going to be delicious.
Well, why don't you grab an apple?
Okay.
You can always, if you scrub your apples really well and take the wax off the apples, you can always use the peel of the apple. So that's what we'll do today. Okay. What we're going to do is put your apple down. Yep. And we're going to just quarter the apple. What I do is I cut around the core.
Got you.
So this way I've left the core intact, but you can choose whichever way you want. I like to make slices. So we're going to do slices. I think the slices look great when the tart bakes, and you can kind of see the segment. You can see the green. It's just, I think it's visually attractive.
I think that's
use red apples too. I mean, it's just, I choose Granny Smiths because they're a little bit tart.
And I like what you said about it makes it look good, because I know, I know I eat with my eyes, because if something doesn't look good, I don't want to try it.
Absolutely. So once our apples are cut, perfect. Once they're cut, what we'll do is we'll toss them with some ingredients to make them taste even better.
I'm still cutting.
Yeah, you take your time. I just play a professional on TV, so.
No, I was gonna say. I think before I get to chopped, I have to work on my knife skills.
Yeah, I could show you that. That's easy.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
I never like to get preachy about having people, do things a certain way because it tends to be boring, and I don't want to have folks lose the fun of it. So we've got a bunch of ingredients right here in front of us. So what we're going to do is first add our sugar to the bowl.
Okay.
What we have here is the vanilla bean. This is more expensive than gold, I believe. At times. It's very expensive. It comes from an orchid.
Oh,
a particular
was I supposed
orchid.
to add the brown sugar or the white sugar?
Add the white sugar. You can do it.
I already did.
Like I said, I don't want people to get caught up in all the particulars. So I've got my sugar in the bowl. I've got my vanilla bean in the bowl. Then we're going to take our lemon zest.
Okay.
Get it right in there. And I'm going to teach you a little trick. What I like to do is I like to take the zest and the sugar and rub it in your hands.
Okay.
Just like that. And what happens is it takes all the oil out of the zest and it makes the sugar really fragrant. I wish you guys could smell this. It really is amazing. So you're going to get the vanilla bean and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to rub all those vanilla seeds right in there. When I see vanilla beans, I see dollar signs, but it's well worth the investment. It really is. And if you don't have vanilla beans, you could use vanilla extract, which is fine, but I like all those little seeds. So once you have that done, we have a little bowl over here with mixed ingredients. I have a little bit of kosher salt, a little cinnamon, a little black pepper. That's going to go right in. You're going to say black pepper. Yeah. I like to mix the savory with the sweet, and the black pepper adds just a little bit of something that your guests won't know what it is, but they'll know it's delicious. So all that gets mixed in, and lemon juice. Lemon juice in baking is kind of like putting vinegar in things. You know how it brightens things up? It enhances the flavor, exactly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pour a little bit of lemon juice in there. And we can grab our spatula at this point, and we can mix it up. Then we can add our apples to it. And we're just going to toss it. It's just going to add a little bit of flavor.
Wow, this is harder than it looks when you're here.
And you're doing perfect.
I lost some of my apples.
That's okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, folks, this is what it's going to look like. It looks like moist sugar with cinnamon. You can see the cinnamon swirled in there. If you don't like cinnamon, and who doesn't like cinnamon? If you don't like cinnamon, you could put powdered ginger in there. You could do nutmeg. You can do allspice. You can do, actually, Jamaican allspice.
Allspice.
Yeah, nutmeg.
Nutmeg is
Oh,
good.
it's the best. Do you know that it's surrounded by mace?
Yeah, I actually, when I cook, I use the mace sometimes. There's certain things that we do in Jamaica, like a porridge, cornmeal porridge, so we put the mace in there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of using fresh Jamaican mace, which I love. So once you get it mixed like this, that's our filling. And now what we'll do is we'll roll our dough. That's the next step.
Okay, Chef Hedy. So now that we have our apples done, what's the next step?
Now we have to make the dough.
Okay.
That brings it all together. And a lot of people use a tabletop mixer.
Okay.
We are going to go old school today, and we're going to do it by hand.
By hand.
Yep.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Grab your bowl.
Yes, ma'am.
Grab your bowl. Okay, so we're both making doughs, but I'm going to make the sweet dough, which is only one ingredient that differs from your dough, which is the savory dough.
Okay.
It's the sugar. So you can leave the sugar in, you can leave it out. It's delicious any way you look at it. So let's dump our flour.
Okay.
Okay. We've got some cornmeal to add a little bit of texture to it.
Okay.
Okay, that goes right in. We've got a little bit of salt. Get that in there. I like using kosher salt because it's a little bit coarser and it's not as salty as iodized salt.
Okay. So since you have salt, all that salt, is the butter also salted or is it
No,
unsalted?
I don't use salted butter in baking or in cooking. I like to be able to control the amount of salt.
Okay.
So it's difficult when you're using salted butter. You don't really know exactly how much they've used.
Gotcha.
So what you'll do is you'll mix this all together by hand. Notice we have gloves on. It's just easier that way.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to take our butter, which is cubed in small cubes, and you want to keep it super cold because people tell me, oh, I made dough and it's really heavy and it's not flaky. It's because you're warming it up too much with your hands. So you want to start with cold ingredients. So get that all in there. You ready to attack this?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a motion like this. We're going to kind of rub it really quickly with our hands. And you'll see it'll start to break up. It'll look like cornmeal. And it's going to take a little bit of time, depending on how small you cut your butter.
This is like Play-Doh.
It is exactly like Play-Doh. I like to use all-purpose flour when I make pie dough or tart dough. It's about the protein. Flour's all about the protein. It's not as high as a bread flour, which would be a stronger gluten, and it's not as low as a cake flour, which you would make a cake. So it kind of sits right in the middle.
In between.
So once you have that all mixed in,
this is hard work, guys.
yeah, it is, right?
But it's going to be rewarding at the end.
And it's old school, so it's cool. It really is. Nobody does this anymore.
Could you also use those? I've seen those pastry cutters.
Actually, those pastry cutters are fantastic because what it does is it doesn't allow the butter to warm up, but it breaks it up.
Okay.
So that would have been fantastic. But I wanted to make it a little more challenging
I appreciate
for
that.
my friend over here.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so the liquid part of this. Once you add liquid to any dough, you start to build gluten. So what you want to do is get it to the point where you want to have it, and then you add your liquid.
Add liquids.
So we can add our liquid.
All of it at once?
Yeah, you can reserve about a tablespoon of it, depending on how humid it is outside. And you'll get to see if it works. You can always add another little bit, but you can't take water away or wine. I like to make my dough with white wine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't tell anyone that there's white wine in here, because I take a little nip once in a while.
That's all right.
But yeah.
You don't want it to go to waste?
No,
So that's fine.
absolutely not. We don't want to waste wine, especially good white wine. So once that's done, what we'll do is we'll gather it up, we'll wrap it up, we'll chill the dough for about an hour, hour and a half, and the dough is going to look like this. I don't want to overwork it too much because then what I'll do is I will work it with a rolling pin. So
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm on track.
yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it matter that the butter, all these chunks of, we still have some chunks of butter?
You have some chunks, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those
Okay.
chunks. It's a little French technique. So I am going to wrap mine up with yours, and I will mark mine with an H and yours with an M.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, so I see we have our dough.
Yeah.
So,
It's sitting right in front of us.
okay. So let's,
And really, for the sake of everyone at home, this can be done right on your countertop, but we're just trying to work neat. I want to impress you with how neat and clean
this is
I
not
can
how it
be.
works at my house during Thanksgiving, guys. Not like this, but
So
we'll go with it.
you're going to take a little bit of flour, and this again is the AP flour. And typically when people say that they're going to roll out, you have to roll out with a little bit of flour. I'm not worried about using that too much flour because I can always brush it off. There's so much butter in this dough that it doesn't dry out. So I've got you with a pin, with dueling pins here, rolling pins.
All right.
And what we're going to do is whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So if we go up, we're going to go down. If we go left, we go right.
Okay.
Okay? This will make sure that the dough stays round. And you can always kind of play with it and kind of move it around a little bit. You just don't want to warm it up too much. Now this, right now, what we would do, no, that's okay.
It's like me, it's a little older shape, but that's okay.
I love that. We're gonna go this way now.
Okay.
We're gonna roll it that way. So you wanna just roll in a circle. And what you can do is on this paper is you can draw a circle so you know exactly how big the dough should be. This dough is gonna be a little bit bigger than we need, so what we can do is we can trim it off. But I'd rather have more dough than not enough dough, so it works best that way. So there are different kinds of rolling pins. Do you like rolling with these? Or?
I do. I have a little one. It doesn't have the handles. It's just very. It looks more like a sausage, but it's pointy on the ends.
They call that a French pin.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer to use that, but right now we're going to use these because it's.
I'm sorry, folks. I don't know the technical term. So it's a French pin, not a sausage with a pointy end.
No, but that's cute. I love that. Yeah, I just thought I would add a little bit. So. Yeah. Okay, you're getting round.
Okay.
All right. So you see all the flecks of lemon and all kinds of goodies in there? Mm-hmm. All right. So what I like to do with the dough is you want to make sure it's even because things are going to bake differently in the oven if you have a really thin piece and then you have a really puffy piece. I put my fingers under it, just like this, and you can kind of feel the dough. You can feel where it's heavy. You can feel where it's too light. So where it's too heavy, just go back with the pin. Okay. It's a good upper arm exercise also, which in this day of COVID, sadly,
we're not getting as much exercise, right?
I can get, so I'm rolling a lot of dough. All right, so once we have our dough rolled out, don't worry about the edges. We'll take care of that. That's not a problem. We're going to take a brush and your paintbrush right there, and I'm going to grab my brush over here. And what I was saying about too much flour, we're going to just dust it off.
Now, why is that important?
Well, flour tends to be a drying agent, and you don't want to eat a lot of raw flour. So, and then you're going to flip your dough, and you see how white that is? We're going to clean it up a little bit. Clean up on aisle 8, right? So we're going to dust all that off. And it's good if your brush is dry.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you see what I'm talking about, a mess? I'm a little conscious of that when I'm doing a demo. So now that we have our dough, what we're going to do, because this is the sweet apple one, we used my dough, and then we're going to go into yours. Okay. So we're going to grab our apples.
Alrighty.
Okay. See how the apples kind of macerated? You know, they kind of got a little bit more liquid. All that brown sugar and that gooey stuff is delicious. So we don't want to lose it.
Okay.
All right. So right in the center. Yeah, right in the center. You can shingle. See, this is where creativity comes into play.
Do we leave the vanilla bean?
No, we're going to take the vanilla bean out. But interestingly enough, you can wash that vanilla bean and dry it in a 200-degree oven.
And reuse it.
And once it's crispy, throw it through a spice grinder. And you have vanilla powder.
That sounds like something my grandmother would do.
Yeah.
Not to waste anything.
Are you insinuating that?
No. Just to not have to waste anything, because she would always say.
I don't like waste. Yeah. Waste to me is it's not a good thing with so many people hungry. Okay, now that we have all of this goodness in here, how are we going to close it up?
Okay. A
little bit of egg wash. So I'm going to show you a little egg wash. And I'm sure you've made pies, and your in-laws are from Alabama, I believe.
My mother-in-law is.
Your mother-in-law. So she's done a few biscuits. So we're going to crack our egg. Notice that was one hand. I'm the professional here. I could do it with one hand. So you're going to take your egg, and then you're going to add a little bit of water to it. And we have a little bit of water here. You can add milk. You can add heavy cream. Egg wash is one of those things that it's a personal thing. If you want to add milk to it, it's going to make a lighter egg wash. This is going to make a little bit of a darker egg wash. So put a little bit of water in there. And then we're going to take our fork And we're gonna make egg wash. What I like, if I'm baking like a bunch of these on the weekend, I'll do a bigger batch of egg wash and just keep it in the fridge. Again, not wasting. All right, so once that's mixed, yeah, we're not making an omelet, we just,
Right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're gonna take our brush again. You certainly
brush?
don't need a 4-inch brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a big brush. And we're gonna paint the dough, the edges of the dough. And what that's gonna do is ensure that it's gonna stick to each other. Okay. Can you imagine making this and forgetting the egg wash? It'll work, but most of it'll go on the sheet pan.
Could you just use water?
You can use water, absolutely. You can use
egg.
egg white. My preference is using the egg yolk only because of the color that it gives. All right, so we have choices to make here. And it's tap into your creativeness, okay? This can be a square Cristada. It can be a round Cristada. It can be very free form, which it's going to be, or however you want to do it. If you're crazy and anal, like sometimes I am, I trim around so it's a perfect circle. But that's not fun.
No.
Nah, let's do it old school, right?
I want people to see that I actually made it. I don't want it to look too perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because then they're all going to call you and want you to make it for holidays. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the top, and we're going to fold our dough over like that.
Okay.
And you're going to pinch down your sides lightly. We're going to take our wash. Okay.
So we'll wash the top.
Yeah, you're going to wash it so it sticks. Then you're going to turn it slightly, and then you're going to make another fold. Now, depending on how big this tart is, if you were making a 14-inch tart that you wanted to bring down to a 12-inch tart, it may be a smaller fold, right?
Gotcha.
So then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to continue around, making these nice little folds. Like I said, you can make it creative. You can make it square.
I think mine is going to be
Well, it's cool. It's freeform.
freeform.
Yeah. All right. And nobody's going to be judging you at home. It's all going to taste delicious.
Wow.
Unless, of course, you Instagram it, and then I may have to connect with
so
you.
this dough is a little, like I said, a little lumpy.
It's okay. Little lumpy's good. That means that there's a lot of butter in there. There's a lot of love in that. So your last fold, you can tuck it, you can hide it, you can move it, you can shake it, you can do anything you want. But I will say that once you're finished putting it all together, you got to chill this, because this dough has so much butter in it, the butter's just going to leach right out. You want it to get cold, really, really cold, maybe about an hour. You can even do this the day before.
Okay.
It's good for Thanksgiving, do it and then just bake it.
So if you do it the day before,
Yep.
when you're ready to bake, can you put it right from the fridge to the oven, or does it have to come to room
Absolutely. No, you don't want room temperature because then it's going to be too soft.
Okay.
So that's it. Let's chill this, and then we'll bake it, and we'll see the fruits of our labor.
Sounds good.
Okay, now that our cristadas are chilled perfectly, what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle a little bit of turbinado sugar. It's that sugar in the raw. It really just adds like another texture, and it's very cool. So grab some of that, and you're going to go right around the dough. And of course, you don't need to do this, but it's very festive. You can even use different color sugar, which if you're cool with that, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this in the oven, and we're going to go with high heat to start. A lot of butter in the dough. If you start at a low temperature, it's going to collapse on itself. So I'm going to get these in.
And do we have no foil on the edges so it doesn't get too brown?
No, not at all. It's not like a pie. It'll evenly brown, especially in this oven. This is like the Ferrari of ovens. So let me show you what the tart's going to look like in anticipation of when we pull it out of the oven. So Monique, this is the tart. This is the Cristada. And
wow.
yeah, you see what the sugar does? It adds like a different texture to it, and it browns evenly. and the apples on top started to caramelize, which it turns a little bit darker and it looks like caramel. This is kind of what we're looking for. Again, if you do it with pears, delicious combination of pears and apples. You can even do this with cranberries.
Cranberries, I was thinking.
Yeah, you can throw cranberries, fresh cranberries, dry cranberries. Things are interchangeable. You know, nothing's written in stone, fortunately for us. But yeah, this is the final product. And let's take a peek at yours baking.
And for those of you who are cooking along with us at home, send us a picture of what yours looks like. So if you want to snap a pic, you can put it on Facebook at our Barry Alumni Facebook page, or send us an email, alumni@barry.edu, because we want to see if yours looks as good as this, and that's okay if it doesn't, but we still want to see it.
No pressure, no pressure. You know it's going to taste good. That's the bottom line, that it's going to taste good. And again, it doesn't have to be round, it can be square.
Like mine.
So we're going to pull it out of the oven and we'll check it. Monique, now we're finished with the sweet element of the program here. We're going to go into the savory. Remember, same dough. You made the dough.
Right.
You just eliminate the sugar. And we're going to grab our ingredients here. Feels so professional. It's all laid out for us. What we're going to do is we're going to do a zucchini, tomato, and ricotta cheese crostata. But what we have to do is we have to prepare the vegetables first. Okay. We're going to roast them. Roasting vegetables, especially zucchini, has a lot of water in it. We want to extract the water, but we want to add flavor to it. So if you've ever had zucchini, it's kind of, it doesn't have enough flavor, but we're going to jazz it up. So you're going to take your zucchini. Yeah, we're going to kind of lay it out. This can even be done the day before. It could be done in the morning. Your kids can do it. You can do it. It's kind of fun. Take these grape tomatoes. You can use whatever tomatoes you have. I like grape tomatoes because they tend to have a lot of flavor.
Yes, they're a lot sweeter, in my opinion, than some of the regular
absolutely.
ones.
What we're going to do is we're going to hit it with this. I think that it's like a mixed spice. It's like a pizza spice. It has oregano. It has dry rosemary, dry basil. It smells like a pizza. It smells Italian. So what we'll do is we'll just liberally sprinkle these guys, give them a little flavor, hit them with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, which we have here. So this is what they look like raw, and we'll show you once they come out of the oven what they look like, and then we're going to bake it in the dough. So let me put these in the oven, and we'll roast these. Okay, so now we've got the vegetables roasting, and you can start to smell it.
Yeah,
it smells really
great in here, guys.
We're going to take ricotta cheese. You guys can make your own ricotta cheese. I know that sounds like a lot of work. It really isn't, but we bought store-bought ricotta cheese, whole milk.
Yeah.
It just tastes better. Mm-hmm. So what we'll do is we'll put it in the bowl, just dump it right in the bowl. And then we're gonna add some flavor to it. We're gonna add a little bit of lemon.
More lemon zest.
Yeah, you notice how lemon is like kind of weaves in and out of all of these dishes? Lemon's great. It really is. It brings out, for me, it brings out the flavor. Put a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. If you guys don't like black pepper, you don't have to put pepper in. Just put all that in.
For those of us who are from the islands, could we do a little hot sauce or some Scotch bonnet or something with a little bit more heat?
Scotch bonnet. You're singing my song here. I spent many years in Grand Cayman, so I'm familiar with Scotch bonnets. So we're going to mix this up, and you're going to say, how's that going to hold together, right?
An egg.
The magic of the egg. So what we're going to do...
My egg is missing, but that's okay.
We're going to... by power of, live TV.
Yeah.
It happens.
Pretend that I have an egg, guys.
So we're going to mix the egg in here.
Yeah.
The egg is a binder. So we're going to bind this all together. And this is going to be like the base of the tart. So we want to get that all mixed in. And once we have that all mixed in, we're going to add Parmesan cheese. And the folks at Publix provided this cheese. It's delicious. And what we're going to do is take like a third of it and put it, a lot of cheese. I love cheese.
Now, could you use a different, maybe not a dry Parmesan like cheese, but like could you grate cheddar or something in there, or is that going to be too?
You could, but it's going to be more melty. Gotcha. This kind of holds its shape a little bit better. I encourage people to try this. By no means this is a recipe that can be played with. All right. So you're going to get that, zhuzh it all together.
Okay.
And once it's all together and our veggies are finished roasting, we can assemble it and we can bake it. And then we're eating before you know it.
That's good.
I'm excited.
That's what we're waiting for. Truth be told.
Yeah, kind of hungry myself. Our veggies are almost finished roasting. So now is a good time to put the base on the Cristada dough. Yeah, so let's put that on. It's like we're dueling Cristadas here.
There you go.
Yep. Guys, it's going to seem like a lot of filling, and it may be a lot of filling, but it's a lot of goodness in this. So get all your stuff in there. And you want to leave, perfect. You want to leave a border, depending on how much you want the dough to flap over. I like to see the zucchini and the tomatoes, but hey, again, we're being creative here. So now that we have all of that, let me pull out the veggies, and we can see the way the veggies look. We'll let them cool for a bit, and then we'll assemble. Okay. So Monique,
all right.
These are your veggies. You see how
smells so good.
It doesn't it? And you see how they've caramelized and they've really kind of taken on a whole new dimension.
They look great.
You could do this with eggplants. You could do it with
mushrooms.
Bell
peppers. Yeah.
There you go. Bell peppers would be beautiful. You're definitely from the islands.
I'm just a food person. I love to eat. So
what we'll do is we have a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, which is going to give us a little bit of flavor. So you're going to just...
Or how do they say it on the Food Network? The EE.
No,
EVO.
Extra virgin olive oil, exactly. Everything's an acronym now, right?
It took me forever to figure out what they were talking about.
Exactly.
I was like, that's what it is.
So we're going to use our hands if that's okay.
That's fine.
I love using my hands. We're going to take the zucchini and we're going to be creative with this. We can shingle them. We can stack them. We can do really whatever we want. But what you want to do is you want to have, when you cut it, you want to be able to have all your guests have the same bite together. So at least, yeah. All right.
Oh, this is great. And this is easy, and I'm sure people who are at home who have kids, the kids would love getting into all of this. Yeah,
absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll take our tomatoes, our beautiful tomatoes, and they're like dehydrated. They're beautiful. And what's left, because all the moisture's out, what's left is this really full flavored tomato. It's like a concentrate. And again, if you don't like tomatoes, you can put mushrooms. You can put, peppers. All right. Super.
All right.
Okay, now that we have that, they look really...
I'm trying to even mine out.
Beautiful.
So everybody gets...
everybody gets the same bite, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Voila. So that's what this looks like.
Look, Mom.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take the rest of our cheese.
Okay.
We're going to give a healthy dose of sprinkle on top. Perfect. And we're going to fold the dough exactly the same way that we folded it before. We'll take our egg wash.
I have mine here.
Sorry, guys. We'll take our egg wash and do the same thing. We're going to go right around the perimeter of that. And we're going to fold.
Okay.
I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to fold square, and you're going to fold round.
You're going to fold square like my other one? I could teach you how to do that.
No, I like that. That was like obtuse. You guys can really have fun doing this. I think it's
I think I
relaxing.
put too much egg wash, but that's okay.
No, but that's okay. It's going to stick together. All right.
Ready?
Dueling folds.
All right.
Ready?
So you're going to do square. I'll try to perfect.
I'm going to do square.
I'll try to perfect the, we put a little egg wash on that
A little bit of egg wash. I can't emphasize enough egg wash. If you don't want the yolks, you can do egg whites.
Okay.
That works perfectly too. So you see how I'm getting like a square edge already? That's kind of cool too. If you have a serving platter that you love, that your in-laws bought you and you want to use it, you've never used it before, and it's square, you can make this square. All right. Very cool.
I think I'm still coming out square.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's free form. All right, this is kind of like an envelope.
Okay.
Very cool. It's like a tri-corner hat.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, that's good though.
That's even more square than the first one.
See, because we were making square ones. Once it bakes, it's going to be delicious. And you can garnish it with like bunches of basil and parsley, and you could just make it really festive. The serving tray.
Okay.
So lift yours up. Yeah. So this is the square version, and this is the interesting
chef, non-chef.
But non-chef it's still going to be delicious. I love that. So let's put these in the oven.
We're using the parsley?
We're going to do parsley when it comes back out.
Okay.
Yeah, this way it'll save its nice bright color. So we'll put these in the oven. The dough is still cold, so I can put it in the oven because we worked very quickly. But I would recommend chilling these. But for the sake of time and video and you folks at home, we're going to do this in the oven right now.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so while we're waiting, I made a savory tart.
Okay, so we get to see a preview.
By magic. So this way it'll just tickle your imagination. So I have one up here. And
so good.
Yeah, I put a little parsley on it. By all means, you can take your cheese and add more cheese to it. You can add anything, little hot pepper flakes. This is it. You see how flaky that dough is?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, there's a lot of butter in it, but it's...
That's okay. Everything's better with butter.
There you go. Great minds think alike. So we'll wait until that finishes baking, and then we'll pull those out, and I think it may be time to eat. What do you think?
Sounds good to me, guys.
Excellent.
Okay, guys at home, this is the final product. This is what it looks like here when you're working with a professional. But at home, it's okay if yours doesn't look like this, just as long as it tastes great and you guys had fun making it.
Absolutely.
And I sure had a great time with you today, Chef Hedy.
Likewise.
And I hope that you'll allow me to be your sous chef.
I would love it.
I can chop, I can clean up, I can help. But you guys, again, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And I hope you had a lot of fun. And we want to thank Publix. All the ingredients that you need for these two pies are available at your neighborhood Publix.
Yep.
And
shopping is a pleasure.
Shopping is a pleasure. Eating will be a pleasure shortly. And we will list the ingredients for you on our website in case you missed something or you want to go back and try it again. And if you haven't already registered, we still have a lot of neat events happening this weekend. Later on tonight, we have our Barry Irie homecoming with DJ Irie from the Miami Heat.
That's exciting.
So he's excited. They're already starting to do their warm-up in the Broad Auditorium. So check out our website, barryalumnihomecoming.com, and register for that and for the other events tomorrow. And thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you soon.